should be live. I don't know if it's going to show quite yet. It should pop up on our screen, though, showing that we went live. Should be live.
Oh, wait, I got to mute
this. Oh, that's loud.
Yeah.
It should pop up
Hold
on
on.
our screen, though, showing that we went live.
There we go.
Then I have it running from my computer, too, so if anyone pops up and asks any questions, we're able to look there, too. All the Canadians are here.
Oh,
none of my friends are here, but all the Canadians are here.
I know.
That's awesome.
That's exciting. Good support. I told them, I'm like, Bill, you better be in this chat. Oh.
That's awesome. All right, guys. So welcome to the Clutch. We're hanging out with Carrie and Barrows tonight.
Hi.
Did I say that right? I always feel like I mess up your name.
You got it, brother. I always tell people, you think of a grizzly bear and a red rose, and you put bear rose together, and you're golden.
That's why he liked hanging out with the grizzlies so much last weekend.
Right. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Man, let me get it off of this.
Hold on 1 second.
I don't know why it's showing on my one.
Yeah,
should be fixed. All right, let me see here.
There you go. I see you.
All right, there we go. Sorry, technical difficulties today. I'm usually on top of it with this.
No
not
worries.
so much.
Over, I see Will from Royal Canadian. I see Ridiculous Reptiles. Paul Taylor. How's everybody doing?
We're getting people in. It's
absolutely.
So wait for Miss Carrie to come back.
Yes.
Get her wine and get settled.
She's already needing a refill. She's so nervous. Oh, you know what, John? I wanted to show you something that you might like. Carrie, get that bottle of wine from up there. I know this is a snake channel and not an alcohol channel, but
it could be an alcohol channel.
Viking blood. Viking blood.
There you go.
Yeah.
If I make it to CBRE, I might have to bring my. Well, I don't even know if they'll let me cross that across. I think they would.
They might.
I don't think my drinking horn would stop me at the border.
That'd be an interesting one.
We brought that over.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think it's just.
No, we didn't.
I don't think you could drink it out of a wine glass, though. I think that's something that would have to come out of the drinking horn.
Yeah, I think so.
Or like get some actual mead from the old days and drink mead.
Yeah. I love how Paul just says there's Helga.
Thanks, Paul.
Miguel promised me that he would be nice because John, you know that how he likes to pick on me. And he's like, don't worry, Carrie, I'm going to be nice and Tinley. I was like, you know what? I do not believe you at all. And that was like first thing Saturday. It's like, here's your pass. Not that Helga's a bad name. It's just not my name, obviously. So.
That's awesome. I'm really upset I missed it, in all honesty, because I was like, I'm gonna go, and then, like I was telling Barrows when you were away, I was like, because of the kid getting ready to be born, I've been flying back home so much on my own money, so I was like, well, now I don't have the money to get up there.
That's it.
These kids is what it is. We're saving for this fall, so this fall we're gonna go crazy, and my wife's still letting me expand, even though I probably shouldn't be at this point. I can't help myself, so
we can't. It's an addiction. Can't stop.
The problem is, so like we always tell this, everyone's always like, oh, you guys are always like so on board with everything. We're like, yeah, and as much as that's a great thing, it's also not great because he's like, oh, I really like this snake. I'm like, yes, get it. Or I'm like, oh, look at this lizard. He's like, buy it. Or whatever the case. There's no no one to control us. Yeah. So it's, you know what I mean? Like
that's where the danger comes in.
The only person that's saying no is my financial advisor. Yeah. She doesn't count.
So that's like legit. The only thing is like, there's no one to like hold us back, but.
Right. No, that's, I mean, as long as you're having fun with it, it's okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And if not, you could just send all the snakes that you shouldn't have bought down to me for free, and I'll take care of them.
We're waiting for you to come up to the CRD.
I'm trying to talk the wife into it. I really am.
Good.
Because Arlington's the exact same weekend, and so my excuse to always go to Arlington is, her side of the family lives an hour away from there. It's like, you could go hang out with family and I'll go play with snakes.
Yeah.
There you go. That actually works out quite nice.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
see how it works.
Yeah. We have been talking and we really want to make it to an Arlington show for sure.
Yeah.
So
they're so much fun. Even if, well, CBRE you can't miss. So since it's the same one, I assume it's going to be, you're going to be looking at the springtime again. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
I will put plans together.
In motion.
Awesome.
I got your phone number now, so
Yeah,
I know.
Carrie was like so drunk. She was like, "Oh, let me just give you my number."
Drinking. I was like, I had to. Technology and me, like, we just don't get along. So I had to like put my number into register. So when you said, "Oh, I'll call you," I'm like, "Okay, give them my number." Whatever. We're friends. It's okay.
Don't worry. It'll only be used for professional reasons.
Or drinking nights.
Yeah.
Yes, drinking times. Yes. All right. So how did KB Reptiles start?
Wow. Why don't you tell the story of the first snake we got?
Well, I've had reptiles like my whole life pretty much. My first job was in a pet store. And I wasn't allowed to bring anything home, but that didn't stop me, of course. You know, like everyone else, we started when we were kids. And then Barros and I got together. So if you don't know, Barros and I are a blended family. So we got together later. Our 5 kids are from our other spouses. And we got together and he had a bearded dragon and a scorpion or something. And I already had like a huge collection. And we got together and I said, you know what? We have all these animals. You know, maybe we should do something more with it. And he said, well, we should get a snake. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, that's fine. So we got a king snake. We started with a king snake, and then we got one ball python. And like game over, right? Like you get one ball python, and then you start looking into more, morphs and breeding. And I was like, oh, let's get this and let's get that. And now, what is it? 5 years, I guess, something like that. Yeah. We're KB Reptiles, and we're like, we actually started more with like the educational side of things. So we started doing like birthday parties and community events and schools and stuff like that. Actually, before we started really getting into the breeding, we had like a couple clutches, but like nothing crazy. So I said, you know what, we should really kind of have a name or whatever. And we were very original when we came up with KB Reptiles. I was like,
Hey, you know what, John? The funny part is you never think it's going to go where you think it's going to go. Yeah. So when we came up with the name, it was one of those things, we just throwing out a couple of things. Yeah. We didn't really look on YouTube for what people were naming things. So we said, Carrie and Barros Reptiles, and then shortened it to KB Reptiles because BK was taken by those Burger King guys. So we left it at KB, and it's been that ever since.
Yeah, and awesome. And if Miguel had his way, it would just be B Reptiles. It's okay.
Yeah, we're working on B Reptiles right
B
now.
Like BE?
No, just B like in
Just
Barros.
like B as in Barros. Chop off the carry part.
That's awesome.
Or Helga Reptiles.
So, Helga Reptiles. Yeah. That's going to be the new brand.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's kind of where we started, and it's just fun, like it's awesome. So
how big is the collection up to now? 5 years, I feel like you well, if you're as bad as I am, because I don't have an addictive personality per se, but with snakes I do. Like snakes and good beer and liquor, I have an addictive personality, but everything else, like, nah, I don't really need that right now. I could wait.
You know what? I think we're very similar. Snakes are very high on the priority list here, and then red wine, Jack Daniels. No. Snake wise, I think we're up to 150 or so ball pythons.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got a couple of boas. We've got a blood python. We've got a dwarf reticulated. We've got a black and white Argentine tegu, redfoot tortoise.
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of stuff.
We've got a whole bunch of.
Yeah, we got a few colubrids as well. So it's just growing.
Bearded dragon.
You're working with about 10 different species right now, is what I caught, right?
Yeah. Oh, and there's more. We've got like lychee geckos, iguanas. Blue tongue skinks, uromastics, leopard geckos. Yeah. We're getting some tuba geckos.
So you just have a zoo. You basically have a zoo.
We charge our kids' friends admission to come over. For
Yeah.
Just kidding. We should, but we
It
don't.
will be $10 to walk through our hallway, please.
Or bring perishable food items or something.
Because we can't feed our kids.
You got to bring something that we can feed our animals. Otherwise, you can't come in.
Yeah.
Or bedding.
Yeah.
Bedding's a big one.
Yeah.
That would be good. I like that.
Yeah. No.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I really don't think that's that bad. I mean,
No.
I jumped up to 40 in the first year. So if I could continue my path of destruction, I'll be at like
you'll be
over 200 within 5 years.
Very soon.
Well, and we've actually I don't want to say downsized, but kind of, because like a lot of hobbyists, you start off and you're like, oh, that looks cool and that looks awesome, and you just you end up with this collection of males because they're cheaper, and you have way too many of them, and they're cool, but they just don't fit into any plants. And we've definitely last year, I'd say especially, focused in on what we want to do with the ball pythons, and we've moved some things just to make it so they fit into our breeding plans and whatnot. So so we did have more, I think, but
trying to focus on projects.
Exactly. I think that's one of the hardest things that you can do is definitely what Carrie said. Like I am in all sense is of it way too male heavy, but there's some genes in the males where it's like, oh, I bought this 3-gene male and I only have them for this one pairing, but I really want that gene and I didn't want to pay for it in a female. So
exactly.
You said it right.
Yep. It is what it is. You live and learn, and then you get more snakes.
I even told Will here, our Canadian friend Will Morose from Royal Canadian. I told him that if he wants to get rid of any of his male puzzle stuff,
right,
he can we'll help him out for sure. I'll go a little bit male heavy if it means having some puzzles. So
absolutely, that's an amazing project. Like it's so hard to get into. You have to be dedicated to that project.
Oh, you have to.
Like Sean did such a good job of keeping it at the price that he set for it.
Yeah.
And he was so selective with who actually bought into it initially. So he did a really good job. I think that's going to be one of the recessive genes that you don't see drop in value for a long time.
Yeah.
You're right.
No, agreed. Totally. Yeah.
I'm just going to find this snake here.
We're losing a boa. Hold on a second.
There we go.
Hopefully my little dog isn't kicking around anywhere. I'm just kidding. She's fine.
That'd be bad.
No, I put her away. It's all good.
Okay.
There are days where I look at my wife's dog and I'm like, that would make a good snack.
Yeah.
As bad as that sounds, I'm not the biggest fan of Chihuahuas, but my wife fell in love with one.
Well, we have a little dog. She's a Yorkie Maltese cross, but then we have Great Danes, so they're really in no.
Right.
They're not in any trouble, but
that's another. Wow.
Yeah.
I think you're like the third or fourth breeder that I know that has like Great Danes.
Yeah.
That's going to be the new trend. Like every breeder is going to have Great Danes too.
I know. I don't know. I
almost wanted one. Well, I do want one, but there's no way with my yard I'd be able to do it. So it's just not fair.
They're just big couch potatoes, though, really.
Yeah, but like when I say I don't have the yard for it,
you need the yard for the poop.
Swing set in the backyard for my kids, and that took up like a third of my yard.
Okay, so. And their poops that they leave, like you need space for that.
It's a horse. Yeah, it's like a little Shetland pony.
Exactly, but it's all good.
I made it back after that long trek down to the snake room.
Yeah.
Jeez.
The snake didn't take you out. You're safe.
Yeah, I know, right? Imagine that.
Let's see.
Oh man. Yeah. So what? I know I made you grab the snake, and now we had to put it back because she's hungry. But
no problem.
And we were talking about favorites and how hard it is, but I won't say your favorite snake because that's kind of messed up. But what's your favorite gene that you're working with right now?
I can tell you mine. So I'm a big fan of the Ultramel. That recessive project for me, the second we got into it from a good friend of ours, Tyler, here in Canada, gave us our first 2 hets. And he was guaranteeing that they were going to produce us visuals, because every time he's bred them, they produce visuals. And when we hit our first visual Ultramel, that's it. I knew I wanted to work with that project. I knew I wanted to put more stuff in it. And then, of course, as you see some of the guys that have that project, I was like, I have to keep going. So that for me is probably my favorite gene to work with.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing, but of course he stole that from me.
That's why I started.
Yeah, I know. But in saying that, we do work a lot with genetic stripe as well. And
I was going to say, if one of you guys don't say G-stripe after all this stuff you've been pulling in.
And we're really, I mean, I think there's a lot of potential with that gene. There's some really cool things going on. We have some Ultramel genetic stripe stuff in the works, hopefully this season. But that'll be cool.
Yeah. Oh, Sebi.
I know.
Hey,
Hi,
Sebi.
Seb. That's his son. Yeah. Oh, Royal Canadian Reptiles. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hanging out with Will.
Beating out Miguel.
Yeah. Tinley, 5 years from now. That's where we're going to be.
Oh.
Honestly.
Taking the belt from Miguel. We'll gang up. We'll get a group of like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
We'll be like, okay, this is my limit. This is my limit.
We need to tie.
And we just get a whole group together so he can't take the belt.
Yeah. Exactly. So he can't just do this the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but in all honesty, something that we've talked about, because as we mentioned, we do some educational stuff and we do, birthday parties and school events. I'd love to have a separate facility where we can have kind of like a little setup with the animals there and have a place where people can come and check them out and do presentations on site. And of course, maybe a separate breeding facility, because it's getting to the point where one of our kids are going to have to go because we don't have any more room for the snakes.
And it's just an eeny, meeny, miny, mo at this
point.
Okay,
Sebi. Sorry. You got called out. You're the oldest. You have your own YouTube channel. Time for you to go, buddy.
Yeah, but
no,
ideally that's what we'd like to be. But
got to do homework. You better do your homework, boy.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's. I think that's kind of ideally where we'd like to see ourselves. But
yeah, I think that's a big goal for a lot of people too, because we jump in and, like I said, we just go crazy and we get all these snakes. But if you can focus, I feel like the people that get a facility outside of their house sort of kind of focus more, because they're like, okay, these are my boundaries.
Yeah.
I have to live with it. Oh, mama eyes.
Oh.
You want her?
Bring her here.
Oh,
mama eyes. It's okay.
Oh, look at you.
That's so cute. Look at the hair.
I love the hair.
Say hi,
I miss that.
But I think the people that kind of give themselves their boundaries, they get more focused and they actually do something with it. I know I'm working out of my garage and I'm trying my hardest to stay focused now.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
You see him? You say hi?
Hello.
Are those Canadians?
Yeah. Can you say
Are those a bunch of Canucks? You don't know which one to look at, do you?
Look at the pretty one.
If she cries, we'll know she's looking at him.
So mean.
It looks just like Dad, except black hair. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, do you know what? Our daughter wanted to ask you a question. You're Irish, right?
Yes.
Yes. So she wanted to know, on St. Paddy's Day, did you dress up as a leprechaun at all?
No.
No? No.
I didn't even wear a green shirt.
No?
No.
Avery said no.
But I have a bunch of green on the tattoos in my arms, so I don't feel the need to wear green anymore.
That counts right there.
That's cool. Oh, so cute.
But I was working on St. Paddy's Day, so I was just in a truck. So if I had actually been able to go out and celebrate, I may have dressed up a little bit. But my St. Paddy's Day shirt is usually it's an orange shirt that my buddy has a green one, and his says you can drink with this. And I have one that says, or you can drink with that.
Nice.
So it's this
I
and
like
that.
that.
But
Yeah.
we used to drink for St. Patty's Day and wear that all the time, like get all done up before we both got married and moved. So now we'll send pictures on St. Patty's Day or something funny of what we're doing, but that's about it.
That's all right.
That's cool.
It happens. The joys of growing up.
Yeah.
Will asked what your dream species is.
Oh,
Dream species, like out of everything? Oh my gosh, that's a tough one.
I would say of snakes, I guess. We'll go with snakes. So what's your dream species with a snake?
ooh.
Oh
Boy.
I'm gonna let you answer this because you're one of,
Gosh.
I don't know.
I don't know if I have a dream species, but I do like to have a little bit of everything. Like a blood python was one of the thrills to get for sure. I've always wanted one. So a blood python was great to add to the collection.
I think probably we have a dwarf retic, but I think probably getting like a super dwarf.
Look at all this branding for everybody else.
I know, right? I think that's probably something I think probably eventually. I know I had to show it.
He's almost done though, unfortunately. But I love Mike. He's a great dude.
Yeah. But I think that super dwarf would probably be on the wish list for sure.
Yeah.
And as far as like other things go outside of snakes, it's like an impossible task almost. So like I need to acquire it. I want a rhino iguana so bad. They're almost impossible.
Did you watch that Q&A that I did recently? And they asked if you could have something not snake related.
Yes.
Rhino iguana, and my wife just...
She's the exact same way.
I want one so bad, but here they're CITES ones, so for it to get approved for us to actually get them here,
it's a process.
It's really like it's almost impossible. So, maybe one day, we'll figure it out. But that would be what I would love to get for sure.
There's got to be a way.
Yeah.
And talk to Billy's exporters.
We've talked to a few people, and I guess it's quite the.
It's a hard process, but we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
she's determined.
What you're saying is, I need to carry a baby rhino iguana in my pocket.
Yeah.
Thank God you
come across the border,
because that was going to be the private message to you after this.
No. Oh,
I in no way condone smuggling. Whoever watches this.
Yeah, exactly. But I just love all. Like I said, I've had reptiles since I've been a kid, and I mean different types of monitors. Like Will and I were talking earlier about different tree monitors, and I mean there's so many species. Like I see something, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Like I want to get it, and then it's just I don't even know if I have a favorite. I love them all. So
that's how I started feeling with panther chameleons. And then I started diving into research, and I still love them, but I can't bring myself to say, okay, I'm going to drop close to $1,000 on something that's only going to live 7 years.
Yeah.
That's it right there. You said it. Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah. Yeah. We just got a lychee gecko, and it was definitely on my wish list. So that's good to, add a check mark beside that one. But yeah, it's like, I'd like to get into breeding them, but they're not the cheapest reptile to own.
Exactly, they're not the most friendly breeders either.
No, exactly. And just because you have a male and female doesn't mean they're going to be compatible. They might decide to just turn on each other or whatever. So it's quite the process. They're not the easiest to breed, but maybe one day again. We'll see.
Okay, let me see. Yeah. I'm missing so much. Dream reptile species. And what ultrasound would you recommend? I don't even have an ultrasound. I palpate everything.
Yeah,
myself, but
yeah,
we're the same. We don't have an An ultramel.
An ultra.
An ultra dog.
An
ultramel. A
Ultramel.
Michelob Ultra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultrasound we do not have on the list of things to get for sure one day, but I know a couple of people who are in here that might have one, and they might be able to recommend the best one to get or version.
Will definitely has one.
Yes, Will definitely. And if Will wants to answer whatever he recommends, that would be awesome because, like I say,
Tom?
And if Will wants to bring it here and just leave it by accident, you can do that too.
He can forget it when he
So Tom's asking, what's your most exciting pairing this season?
So we have probably one or two that we're really excited about. One actually just laid, so we're hoping to see where this goes. But we have a pewter double het Marcus Jane Exanthic pied to a double het Marcus Jane Exanthic pied. So double hets. We're hoping to see if we can hit that elusive lightning pied. Always since I saw that, wanted one, so we're working towards that. And then what do you think's another one we're really...
I think our we've got pairings of Ultramel pied and Ultramel genetic stripes in the works. So those two I think are definitely anticipated. We've got a lot of clown stuff on the go as well, which of course is awesome. But being that we're Ultramel genetic stripe people for sure, those two pairings, you know, or we've got a couple pairings in the works with those potential combos. So hopefully hit one or two. That would be nice. But
Any lavender stuff up there?
Yes. Yeah. So right now we have a black pastel het lav going to a genetic stripe het lav. So trying to see if we can get some black pastel lavender het genetic stripes.
If you make a male, let me know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have I think she's 800-gram female visual lav het genetic stripe right now. That after I make my double het for dreamsicles, I really don't have any plans with.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
That was very good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that, and then we're gonna put a vlog out on this. I guess we can.
Yeah, we can talk.
But we had a genetic stripe het lav to genetic stripe het lav. And we were super excited about that because last year she didn't go at all. They locked up a bunch of times, nothing happened. This year they locked, she ovulated, we were super excited. Just before Tinley, she laid a clutch of 8 slugs. So that was
first time.
Yeah, so you know, it's all part of it and it happens, unfortunately. Right. You know, but it was one of our anticipated clutches for sure. So it's kind of obviously a bummer when that happens, but it's all part of it. It just still sucks nonetheless. But...
Absolutely. No, I feel you. I'm fighting over here just to get one clutch right now. So I thought I had an ovulation, and then the girl went back on food, and I was like, she's still locking. She started eating again, and like, well, I'm just gonna keep pairing, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then I have other breeders coming in, but they won't be paired until after summer because of quarantine time. So they'll be like beginning of 2020 babies.
Yeah, it's been a weird. So far, I've heard it from like you, and I don't know why, but yeah.
She's excited. She wants to do the interview too.
That's okay. It's cute when they're that age, for sure.
She's fun. Like she's a trip. I'm still getting used to having a princess. Like with the little boy, it's just like, oh, you want to wrestle? You want to fight? Let's go.
Yeah.
I know how to be a dude all day, and now it's like, oh, I have to be gentle with you. What do I do?
Well, I love the way you guys did up the room when you did the video.
Oh, that was all the wife and mother-in-law, man. Like, that was all them. I just said, I want to record it when you're done. That's the only credit I can take for it.
Oh, that's cool. Well, we have 4 boys over here, so it's a lot of boys.
They should have like the coolest, like Well, they're kind of older now. I was gonna say ninja dinosaur type. Yeah, they're probably a little old for that.
They're all preteens. They don't even like us anymore. You know, we're just like, they're embarrassed by us. They're friends. They're friends like us because of all the cool animals we have here. But
well, you're the cool parents. You drink and you have exotic animals. No one else wants to do that.
It.
None of their parents like us, but the kids love us.
They heard about the Halloween parties.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I know, Will, right? CITES won with the rhino iguanas.
Yeah.
Bummer. We were at, we got an awesome opportunity to go to Brian just before we went to Tinley there. Of course, he has his rhino iguana Bella there, and I was like, oh, like, you know, it's like 3 hours away from us. It's so close. I'm like, why can we not get them here, you know? But it is what it is. It's all good.
So do you see the breeding taking off more, or are you gonna try to expand on the education aspect a little bit more, or what? Where do you want your focus to go pushing forward?
I think it's really, I think it's both. Yeah, in all honesty. Yeah.
I want to focus on getting a couple of more like really nice quality snakes into our collection. Yeah. And I'm hoping to breed them in versus having to buy everything. You know, your inclination is to see it and you want to go out and buy it, but sometimes you have the ingredients. It's just the patience part of it. Mm-hmm. So I want to add some of these cool combos that we're making and see where it takes us. And at the same time, the educational stuff, we're trying to make sure that we keep that forthcoming, because it really does introduce us to a whole new spectrum of the younger generation. And that's where we want to go. We want to get them involved. We want to get people knowing what we do is safe and fun and educational, because I'm sure, like you growing up, same with us, these kind of animals were sought as like, oh my gosh, don't touch them. Don't put your hands around. They're all going to bite.
Taboo.
They're venomous, everything. You know what I mean? And then you find out that people have them as pets, and they're really not. Yeah. They're not that bad.
It probably didn't help that I lived in Texas or New Mexico most of my life. So I did have rattlesnakes like right outside my house.
Yeah.
For half the year. So it's like, oh, snake, no, bad. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys definitely had it different than us, because we have one line of rattlesnake here in Canada that's nowhere close to where we are. So the worst we saw were garter snakes, and people were like, ah. So
yeah. But I think it's really important. And, Barros and I recently started hosting our Canadian Reptile Expos as well, which is an awesome opportunity just to get, again, more, information out there. We're getting a chance to interview some awesome people that are, specialists in certain areas, whether it be like native species or, we had an awesome opportunity to interview Brandon Van Asten, who specializes in tree monitors last month. So it's really exciting. Again, we take that education stuff we do on our own, but now we're even, we're doing it with expos as well, which is super, super cool. And, promoting not only our expos, but, promoting responsible pet ownership, getting some more education for whatever reptiles we're talking about that day. But, so I think, we love breeding ball pythons. I don't think we'll ever stop doing that, because once you're in it, how can you stop? But the educational stuff is we're definitely equally passionate about both. Yes. I would say so. Yeah,
that's good stuff. Yeah. So, how many clutches a year? Like, when do you know you're at your limit? What are we shooting for?
Oh boy! Well, what Carrie tells me.
I never tell you. That's the problem. See, that's why I come back to the same thing. It's like there's no anyone to control us. Last year, I think we had what did we have? 15 clutches. This year we're probably, you never know what happens. Of course, we have about 20.
We have about 20 females, 22 females that we're pairing. So if I can hit the same 15 to 20 clutches, I'd be extremely happy. And again, just because we've been able to throw in a male from last year's into the equation or from the year previous, a couple of female additions that we had to get that are in the breeding plans. So we're excited. I think the limit will be once all the hatchling bins are full, then I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
No.
You can always build. It's okay.
Well, yeah, which we have. We've expanded. We're
Yeah.
building a new snake room now, and
Yeah.
you know, we're constantly buying new stuff. You know, oh, so cute.
I think she agrees with you guys.
I think so. That's awesome.
She's great to have in here.
I know she gets super excited for a 1-year-old. Like she just sees them and her eyes light up, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be in so much trouble once all my kids are old enough because they're. I don't need any push to do more is the issue, and I have a feeling they're gonna be like, well, let's go get another one. Let's get another one.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be a fun thing for the family in the future.
Oh yeah. How old are your babies to be apart?
So my oldest is 3.5. She just turned 1, and then my wife's within 2 weeks of her due date. So
fun.
They're not really spread out at all.
My first 2 are 11 months apart, so I get it.
See?
Yeah.
You'll be okay. Her first 2 kids were only 11 months apart.
Yeah. I actually had 3 in 2.5 years, so there you go.
Yeah. We'll have 3 in just under 4 years.
Yeah. So it's all good. And then they get older, and then they can like clean snake bins for you. It takes a little bit of time, but we're at that stage now where they clean snake bins, fill water bowls, scrub them out. Yeah.
Well, as long as he can hold them without running off with them, I'm okay with it. Like
that's true.
When I give him his snake, he's like, "Oh, snake," and he loves it. And he'll show people if there's like our friends are over, he'll show his snake off. But if it's just the family, he takes off and he tries to find a place to hide it so he can't put it back.
I love it.
It's like, oh Lord, kid, but it's fun. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's cool.
Jumping in here, so you started hosting an expo.
Yeah.
How? Like an expo that you guys just put together all by yourselves, or you?
No, so I'll tell you the story of how that goes. So in December, we were at one of our local expos, and the promoter Grant had seen us walking around doing some vlogging, talking to people, because as you know, we both like to chat. So we are able to talk to.
Can you guys hear that? I'm sorry.
No.
Rattling our walls.
My neighbor's literally rattling my house with his music. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. It was throwing me off.
So the promoter of the expo had actually seen us doing some vlogging and talking to people and asked us if we could come out and speak with him. And I thought, oh my God, we're getting kicked out of our first expo ever.
We're like, oh no.
We insulted somebody. We said something we shouldn't have. And he pulled us aside and he said, I want to talk to you guys about an opportunity. So I'm like, okay. And he said, I want you guys to be the faces. I want you to be the host of the Canadian Reptile Expo for the next coming years. And I'm like, Carrie said, are people going to jump out and laugh? Are there cameras?
Is there a joke here?
Like, is this a joke?
What?
And he said, no,
like,
I've been following your social media. I've been following your YouTube and your Facebook and everything else. And you guys being a family channel and watching you guys grow and watching how you guys communicate with people, we think it would be a great idea to have you guys host. And we said, great. What do you mean by host? And he says, we want to do lives with you every expo. I'm going to pick 2 people and then a breeder. And then I need you guys to pick out kids in the crowd, and we'll do some Facebook lives, and we'll just make sure that we're getting the young people, the new up and coming hobbyists, to really want to come out to these things and check it out. So it's skyrocketed from there. It's been
really awesome. And like I say, the interviews, it makes it exciting for people to come out and hear different people in the hobby that are local to us, or and just talk about, like, again, what they're kind of specialize in. And we're all about promoting responsible pet ownership, so it's really cool. And I think it gives people coming to the expos kind of something to look forward to as well. the live thing kind of freaked me out a little bit because, like, you know, when you do YouTube and you're like editing everything, like, oh god, I look really stupid there, I'm cutting that out or whatever the case may be. And this, like, it's live, like there is nothing, like it's all, or you know. But
that's why I love lives.
Oh,
there's no hiding.
No
hiding. You are who you are.
Yeah. And I mean, we're pretty, like, you know, what you see in our videos is pretty much how we are all the time anyways. But like I was saying before, I'm kind of like high anxiety a little bit. So I'm like, oh no, like, did I say that the wrong way, or did I look the wrong way, or blah, 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 whatever goes on. So,
and I think I'm more like you, John,
yeah,
where I'm just like,
goes with the flow,
I'm like, whatever. Really, whatever people see us, they're going to see. If my hair is out of place, if I got something.
Now, don't lie. If your hair is out of place,
yeah, sorry. I get really stressed if my hair is out of place.
You know what? I'm going to stress you out really bad. Let it go.
I love it.
I think part of that, though, that came from my Army time, you know? Like, I was so, okay, everything has to be in its place. It has to be this way all the time. Like, super OCD about everything. And now that I'm out, I was like, I used to be so uptight about everything being perfect. You can't be that way. Otherwise, you're just going to eat yourself up. So there's days where I'm like, you look like a total mess. You need to clean yourself up. But
that's it. That's the way
it happens
today. Yeah.
Exactly.
Enjoy it.
But
so you got started with those. You're doing the lives now. Mm-hmm. You're learning how to do your own YouTube lives.
Yeah. Yes.
We're expanding your knowledge base so we can do this.
And now I know I don't need to give everyone my phone number in order to do it, so that's good.
Yeah, watch out. There may not be as nice of people as me.
Yeah,
exactly.
And the other part,
if you guys want it, just look on the comments right now.
Oh,
just kidding.
Oh, 00. He said if you
want. Carrie's anxiety just went like through the roof right there. She's like, no, he's not going to do it.
That's Helga's number. If you want to reach Helga, you can reach her at that.
That's awesome. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's a good one, Paul.
Yeah.
Do you have any morphs yet that you plan on adding that you don't have currently?
Oh, gosh.
Well, there's definitely like combinations for sure. Yeah. Like, well, again, trying to make them eventually, but I think the whole, like, you want Batmans for sure.
Yeah. So we're in the process of trying to make those over the coming years. But in speaking with Will quite a bit, the puzzle Desert Ghost stuff is stuff we would definitely like to add to the collection one day. Right now we're trying to stay focused on those projects without veering off too much. But if the opportunity did show itself, I'd probably jump on into puzzle or Desert Ghost.
We have some Desert Ghost stuff.
Not ready to breed yet. So if I could get something breeding ready, I would maybe jump into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I hear you on that. Like Desert Ghost, well, both of them are just absolutely amazing. But it's one of those that if you jump into that, you're jumping into a whole nother cycle.
Whole new realm. Yeah.
I think it's good. And I've had this argument, well, it's not even an argument, but this conversation over multiple interviews. Is the focus going to be towards going, okay, I want to create that ultimate 6-7 gene powerhouse animal, or do I want to focus on 2 to 3 genes and really perfect those genes?
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, it's pretty much 50-50. Like you obviously, a lot of people want to have that title of, oh, I made the world's first, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but everyone behind you is gonna, once they know the ingredients, they're gonna make it too. Like, do you want to be known for making it first, or do you want to be known for perfecting it? And I guess that's kind of where I lie. I want to have simpler combos, I guess, and have it a little, well, not more affordable, because I mean, you can look at Ozzy or Justin, and they'll give you a 3-gene animal. It's still going to be $3,000 to $4,000 because of the quality on it, you know. And they have that right. They've put in 15, 20 years to make that quality of an animal. So
No, you're
But I
absolutely
think that's where I lie. Like I'm becoming a lot more nitpicky of my animals that I allow in. It's like, well, these are both orange dream, but I like the way the flaming on this one is and the way it's enhanced the orange or it held that orange longer, things like that. So it's interesting. Like, where do you guys lie on that subject?
You know what? We're the same as you. I think 2 years ago, if you asked me, do you want an orange dream? Yeah, I just take it. And now, if I can look at orange dreams, or I can look at leopards, or I can look at different things, spot nose, and say, you know what? I like the blushing on that. I like the head pattern on that. I like just the look of them now. You can kind of say, out of the three there, I want to pick that one. And I have, a reason why. I have a bit more knowledge. I've seen the big guys. Like, again, going to Pomona, going to Tinley, and you look at a Justin or Aussie table and you go, oh, wow. And you just go like, I want that kind of quality. Or even when we're at Miguel's place and he's opening up bins and I'm just like, my eyes popped out of my head. I'm like, dude. And he's like, yeah, it's just, getting the right animals, get the quality in, and, watching the next coming years what happens. Yeah. So, no, I'm totally with you.
I have to say hi to Adam.
Hey, Adam.
What are you drinking, Adam? I know you got to be drinking something. It's probably a Coors Light.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
But
sure.
All right, so 100 ball pythons. You said one dwarf retic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you want to add super dwarf. If you were to breed another species of snake, what do you think it would be?
You know what? I think dwarf retics would be the way to go. I think they're going to be the next.
The super dwarfs.
Yeah, the super dwarfs. I think they're going to be the next big thing when it comes to like the different morphs you can get with them. Just speaking with Garrett this weekend and seeing what he's doing and the combinations. And unfortunately, I don't know those combinations like you would tell me in ball pythons now. I could help you put some things together, but that kind of stuff when I'm 66% angry and purple head and yellow heads and just different types of retics I don't know enough about, but that would be one that I would be I'd love to get into one day down the road once the kids are in university.
Are you guys going to Pomona in the fall?
I actually think when that weekend is, but I think we have a show we have to go to here. I think is it August like 14th or 12th or something like that weekend, I think. Anyway,
I think so. I'm not sure.
So probably not, only because we have a show that we're going to in Western. But hopefully next January. Yeah. I'd love to go back to Pomona. I mean, that was so much fun, right? So.
Yeah, it's
when you get beard hugs at Pomona, that's the best thing about it.
Beard hugs.
Beard hugs.
By then, it may be down to here. So.
Oh yeah, we need to grow this thing. Right. You know what? Standing next to Chris Graham this entire weekend at Tinley, I had to put my head down a little bit because that.
Did you feel unmanly?
That's like bit? A man beard. Like that's a big beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barrow's had a little bit of an incident with his beard. His barber hacked it all off, so you can't talk to him about how short it is right now because it's a sore spot. So.
Yeah, it used to be much longer, and I put my head back to get it all trimmed up, and when I looked up, I was like, "What?" So this is where we stand right now.
Yeah, I feel you. I've had it trimmed. So I go and get my haircut and my beard trimmed once a month to try to keep some sort of shape to the craziness. But I don't know what it is. Does yours get really curly and wavy?
Yes, absolutely. My hair is naturally curly too. So this kind of stuff flies out. If I didn't have, here comes the plug, my SFB products, and you can get those at sfb.com. really, like the products I put in really help straighten that thing out.
Hold on.
Well, no, even so, I don't know if it's just because of my hair. Like I use the wax, I use the oils, everything. Unless I take a straightener to it, this is what happens. Like it gets waves and it just starts curling into itself and it goes crazy. But that I think that's just my beard. It's mad at me for having to be clean shaven for 8+ years of my life. So it's like I'm just gonna rebel against you.
It wants to be set free.
Careful, Mimi. Careful. Yeah. Come on.
So I see a question here from Army Vet Balls.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
There's a question here from Army Vet with Balls.
What advice would you give a new breeder? Well, that's funny because I get asked that a lot, but I think that should go to you guys because I talk to Richard a lot, actually. So.
Oh, okay.
You guys give your response to that one.
So I think a popular one that we've told people, and I think one that gets said a lot, is if you want to get into ball python breeding, definitely buy females first. I think that's a key one, and I think John and I have both done it where we saw beautiful males that we liked and just picked them up and realized that eventually we're not going to have enough females for all our males, or enough females for all our males. So I would definitely look into buying nice quality right-sized females for sure. Yeah.
And I think too, just having a little bit of a vision on where you want to go as far as projects go too definitely helps. Because I mean, we were just, when we first started, we were like, oh, like, I mean, of course it sometimes that changes. I mean, it's still we'll get a snake, we're like, oh, okay, now that we have a new direction where we want to go or whatever the case may be, but you have some sort of idea. I think it's good because we literally just were like buying like whatever, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I like literally have no plans for this animal now. You know what I mean? So I think you kind of start off with an idea of what you're passionate about, and of course, like I say, that does change sometimes, but starting off with a little bit of a direction, I think is helpful.
And infrastructure. Mm-hmm. If you have snakes, you need to have racks. And if you have racks and snakes, you need to have food for those snakes. And if you're going to breed, make sure you have hatchling racks. Make sure you have an incubator. Make sure you have all that stuff, because I've seen too many people. Anybody have an incubator? I have eggs and I don't have one. And I'm like, oh, dear heavens. So there's a couple things you need to have in place.
Yeah. And I think Adam made a comment too about pick a recessive or two and then build the incomplete dominant morphs around it. I think that's for sure, like 100%. It's a good
advice. And that's where I messed up. We all say it, but I think besides like the really big recessives that you're just, unless you're going to drop that $1,000, $2,000+ price tag on a single gene, I have every recessive in the game. It's just, well, I don't know what to do with it now. I just got this one because I really like it.
Yeah.
Like I have a Enchi hypo he's a full grown male. Like he's probably 3-4 years old, and he has got the brightest greens on a ball python I have ever seen.
Nice.
Like there's only one other Enchi hypo that's really like battled him, and I saw that come out of Nerd. So I was really excited about it, and I found this guy in a local pet shop. So I was like, oh, this is a score, you know?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, I really don't know what I want to put the hypo to. So he's just sitting there growing and being lazy. So it's really, I think the biggest, regardless of what breeder it is making a plan and actually sticking to the plan.
Of course. And it is true. Someone mentioned about food, and yes, feeding them is expensive for sure. We were breeding our own rats for a little while. That didn't last long. I'm like, no, they got like seriously. So we now have a plan to move them elsewhere, and we want to start breeding again because I mean, we don't have a massive collection, but at 150-ish ball pythons, It absolutely does get expensive to feed them weekly. So yeah, I mean, if you're starting out, I mean, if you have like a couple of snakes, that's not a big deal. But once you start going and you start building a collection, you have a good, like, you know, size number. Yeah, you got to plan for that.
It's okay, Carrie. Just throw a random number out there. I saw it. It was there. She's like, do I want to say 50? Do I want to say 80? It's a good number to throw out there.
It doesn't matter. Well, whatever. I mean, and
once you hit a certain limit, it's just hard. Like I know I talked to Billy, and he said, I think he goes through like 4 or 5 different people just to try to find enough rats to feed his collection every week.
It's tough. Very tough.
It is tough. And I mean, for some people, maybe, you know, 100 snakes isn't that expensive every week. But for us, yeah, you know what? It adds up, and it adds up quickly. Oh, yeah. So you keep it in mind for sure. So.
Oh, yeah. So what I do, I kind of try to cheat and play the system. She's cranky. She wants to be helped.
Dad is in trouble.
Baby problems. But what I do to kind of cheat the system is I'll buy like a month and a half worth of frozen thawed to feed my like smaller snakes, and then the breeders that are getting kind of the age, I euthanize them, and I'll feed them, and I'll grow up that next batch over the next month and a half. We'll let them get into the cycle, get a couple litters out of them, and then go through the same process. So yeah, it kind of evens out. So it's almost like a month and a half, 2 months, I'm feeding frozen thawed, and then a month and a half, 2 months, I'm feeding pre-killed. But that way, they all eat everything. Like, there's literally not a rodent I could put in front of one of my snakes and they won't eat. So
yeah,
that's good.
That's awesome.
I guess that works too for whoever's trying to buy in the future.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Hi, sweetheart.
What's the matter, you? What's the matter, you? Just going to throw that one too.
We don't have, I was just looking through the chat and there's some people with the ASF. We actually don't have, well, I shouldn't say that. We have one snake that eats ASF. That's it. All the other ones we've been able to switch over, but just because around where we are, they're not the easiest to find.
She wants you.
Are some breeders that have ASFs, but oh.
Mama's trying to. Mom. Mom. What's your matter? What's your matter, Duffo? Yeah, I did ASFs for a while, and they stink really bad, regardless of how often you clean them. Like, I was cleaning their cage probably twice a week minimum, and it still stunk. Like, they pee on everything.
Yeah.
Like, they got to the point where they were like collecting their food into a corner, and they also used that corner for their bathroom.
Oh.
So it was like just this giant moldy mountain. I was like,
yeah. No.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The snakes smell that one. Like, they'll smell ASFs and they'll go.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a trouble eater, they're going to eat.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're so stinky. I couldn't do it anymore.
No, I agree.
Hi.
Oh, great. Cracking number 2. They're really funny because they play off of each other. They'll be on separate sides of the house, and their little squeak yell that they like to do. And one will do it, and they have a conversation that way. And I feel like they're plotting against us already.
Gotta love
it. Scary thing.
I miss the cute stage.
Well, you guys.
So Genomic just asked, and unfortunately, we won't be able to do Pomona in August only because we have our big CRB in August as well.
We don't have a CRB in August.
No, that's in September.
Totally lying.
I was thinking of one of the local shows the same weekend.
Or actually, I'll answer the question because clearly, but We actually, there we go. We actually are going out west in August.
Oh, it's out west.
But
no, I have a busy schedule.
Thanks for chiming in, Bear.
I have a busy schedule. I can't remember anything. Jason's going to understand that. Thank you.
Hey, David. How's it going?
Hey.
We missed you, buddy.
The non-ice cream eater, David. You and Carrie.
Yeah. You just ripped my beard hair. Thank you.
No worries.
Okay. Hold on.
It'll plug my phone in.
Give Daddy 5 minutes, okay?
To get this dog.
Right. Oh, Lord. So we kind of jumped into your thoughts. I didn't get to dive in the way I usually try to, but I try to keep these at right around an hour.
Absolutely.
Calm down, baby. And the kids are going crazy.
That's all right.
So, it's okay, Nene. I'm going to have you guys plug yourselves real quick.
Yeah.
And talk about where to find you on all your social media and what the next thing is for KB Reptiles.
I'll let Carrie do the plug since I got the wrong.
Maybe. I don't know if you got our phone right. But we're on KB Reptiles on Instagram and Facebook, and of course, KB Reptiles on YouTube. And honestly, we're just looking forward to continuing on with the Canadian Reptile Expo this year and getting out to as many shows as we can in Canada and the US. We love going out to the shows. We love meeting everyone. And yeah, we're just going to keep going out the way we're going. And yeah, we're excited to keep
Another loss. All right, guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't checked them out, go check them out now over at KB Reptiles on YouTube. I will put a link to their channel in the description for anyone that's watching this afterwards. I want to thank you guys for joining us. And thank you, Carrie and Barrows, for sticking around through the craziness that is my household.
I love it.
And for taking some time out of your weekend to hang out with us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Our first live like this. This is a lot of fun. So I thank you, John, very much.
Thanks.
Don't worry, we'll get you like this, and then we'll just expand everyone that we talk to all the time.
And thanks to everyone else who's been on.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Thank you so much.
Bye.